Andrea from WellAndrea, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of rest. I see a lot of people not taking the rest they need, and I see this from professionals, from coaches and trainers, and people with degrees and certifications and all sorts of things. And I also see it from lay people and from people who just started working out to people who have been working out for decades. And I think we really underestimate the importance of rest. And so if you're starting to work out and you have been working out for a while, working out really makes you feel good, right? It's something you look forward to. It's a part of your day. If you're going to a gym, it becomes part of your schedule. And so it can be actually really difficult to, for example, take a day or two off a week from the gym because you're so used to it. But when people take a day or two off from the gym, they oftentimes then make it an active rest day. And active rest is a good idea, right? Because we do not want to say, okay, today is a rest day. I'm going out of bed, I'm sitting on the couch, I don't do anything. No, you want to walk, you want to maybe go on a slow hike, you maybe want to do sort of an easy yoga class, right? Nothing crazy. Maybe you play with your kids, whatever else you want to do, but it should be easy. What it shouldn't be is, all of a sudden you double the miles you walk in a day. So I see this all the time. People who usually walk between 10 and 15,000 steps a day, all of a sudden they walk 25, 30, 35, 40,000 steps on their rest day. So if you are doubling the steps or more in many cases than double the steps you get, that is not a rest day, okay? Your body does not have a chance to truly recover if you do this, even if you're not lifting the weights that day. So, and people do the same thing with like really strenuous yoga classes or other classes or, hikes that are just not easy hikes, but really, again, maybe a lot of elevation or maybe long hikes, things like that. So that would not count really as a rest day. And it's okay if that happens once in a while, right? Our bodies will still recover enough if, one of your rest days is a little bit more strenuous, that's fine. But if you do this consistently, your body will just be recovered less and less and less. And eventually this will lead to injuries. And then, good programs also always have deload weeks, weeks where you just do a lot less weight or volume, or maybe even take it off completely. And I think people do the same thing with deload weeks. They, add to their weeks. All of a sudden, they decide to add these crazy long walks, or they add to all these different classes that they always wanted to take. So now in that week, they still go to the gym, they lift less, they, maybe spend less time in the gym, but then they add all these other things. So again, they do not have a deload week and your body really can't recover. And I think the number one thing to remember, what happens if your body doesn't recover over time, and this also takes time, right? But what happens is your body basically, instead of being 100% recovered, after a week, maybe it's only 95% recovered, and then it's 90% and 85 and 80%. And so at one point, you will not be very recovered, and your chances of getting hurt and injured are just really going up. And many times the problem is that this overtraining, overreaching really doesn't show up right away. And people think, oh, I can get away with this. I don't really need the rest. I can add stuff. I'm fine. Look, I can do it all. And it really works for a while, but then all of a sudden it doesn't. And I really don't think it serves us in the long term. So I think, be very mindful of your rest days every week, be mindful of your deload weeks, and really look at what you're doing and see if you are recovered enough. Have a great day, keep moving, and keep resting enough. Bye now.